What's going on, guys? This is Stone Runner here again with another video of the Night's Watch deck that was pretty much loaned to me by the guy who's known as Joe from Cincinnati. And I'm fortunate enough to have him here with me today doing commentary. And so he's just going to pretty much help us to figure out the most ideal plays to make with the deck, being that he is the one that pretty much made it. I mean, our decks are pretty similar, but I feel like his might be the better. Due to the fact that, like I said, he is the guy that created it. So I've got Joe on with me. Joe?
So, I guess that was my introduction. I would have liked a little bit more of a grand introduction, but I guess Joe from Cincinnati is fine. I just, like he said, I introduced him to this deck. We were playing a couple games, and it seemed like he was really enjoying me beating him with it. So I showed him what I did and built it, and he made a couple modifications. We're both still working on it. Endlessly. I mean, especially with taking the black coming out, but
right.
We're trying to optimize it, but I think it's in a really good place, and I'm excited to expose it to the community a little bit. So
yeah, it's not too often that you get your ass beat by somebody over and over and over again, and then you're not too salty to the point where you can't ask them about it. So unfortunately we were unable to record the matches. I don't know if you guys are aware that I was looking for people to play Thrones with using physical cards over Skype. Joe was one of the people that volunteered to play, and I'm glad that he did, because he definitely put me through the ringer multiple times with this deck.
Well, it's like everyone, I don't know if anyone here or anyone listening goes to the card database or cardgamedb.com forums, but they were talking a lot of trash about Night's Watch, saying it's the worst of the 8 factions, and it can't really win many games, and even Martell's better than it, which of course now we know is kind of a weird thing to say. But when I was playing with Shamar, I thought, hey, why don't I show him this deck, and hopefully I play it well enough that he's impressed, and he was. So now we're going to try and distribute it to the common people.
That's right. And so we've got the setups here. Rob St. John, who you guys all know, has set up Marjorie, Tyrell, and Paxter Redwin, or Red Wine, depending on how you like to say it. I've got Maester Aemon, and his name is eluding me right now.
Waymar.
Waymar, that's it. The Iron Throne and a Rose Road. So Rob has drawn 2 cards. I've drawn back up to 7, and we're about to play our first plots here.
So those who have followed Throne Runner's video on this deck, they probably know that the main theme is, the wall plus Iron Throne plus a couple of start cards, which is his banner in this deck. He didn't get any of them out to begin with, but he got Aemon, which is going to be really nice to start this game. Let's see what he plays, because this is actually, I'm commenting on this video, but I've not actually seen it yet, so I'm right with all you guys, just watching it for the first time. So
knowing what you know about this deck, Joe, what do you usually mulligan aggressively for in your opening hand?
So it's you can't really pick and choose what you mulligan for, or what you get in your starting hand. But Meister Aemon, I definitely want to see him. I mean, if I see him and I have enough to even get 6 gold out or 7 gold out, I'll typically keep it, because he's just so essential to the deck.
Right.
In addition, if I see Sansa, I'll typically keep that hand, because Sansa, well, he just played her now, but Sansa,
yep.
If you set her up, she comes out in play, not knelt. Her text says when she comes into play, when you marshal her, or when she comes into play, she comes into play knelt. But with setup, she comes into play standing, so it's even better. So those are the main ones. I'd like to see the wall as well, but at the same time, the wall takes up 4 of your 8 setup, so it's not perfect. In some cases, it might be good. Like if you can get Sansa, a reducer, and the wall, that's a great setup. But like I said, it's mainly, there are key components to the deck. If you get 1 or 2 of them, Iron Throne, Sansa, Maester Aemon, the wall. If you can get a couple of them, it's a good start, and I would keep that hand, as long as you can get more than 1 character out, because you never want to walk into a March to the Wall.
That's right. I find, for me, I don't mind not seeing the wall right away, although I did in this game, with the Iron Throne, which was pretty fortunate. I tend to want to see Castle Black before I see the wall, and I don't know if you would agree with that.
Well, looking at your board right now, you have you have 4 of the main components of this deck. All you're missing at this point is a card to oppose the third. Okay, there you go. You're opposing all 3 challenges now. So
and Rob and I laughed about that play because I did waste a King's Road to play a 2-cost guy, so that's kind of leaving 1 gold on the table. But I had to do it to make sure that the wall wouldn't get nailed.
Yeah, well, you know that you're getting dominance this round. You're probably getting Sansa. The wall, that's a 4-power start. There's no beating that. So I think it's definitely worth the King's Road to guarantee a 4-power first turn.
Right, and that's where my thought process was. But like I said, we did laugh about it because it kind of sucks to do that. You'd always hope to maximize the King's Road, but like you said, in that case, it puts you at a pretty good advantage very early in the game and kind of has your opponent on their heels before they want to be.
All right, so he already got Randall out. Randall Tarley. That guy is a pain.
Especially when he has Marjorie right beside him.
And he has Paxter, so the Growing Strongs are free. It's nice.
Yeah, so we both got a pretty good turn 1 here. I'm not sure if I do any challenges. I feel like I just pass.
I mean, that's what I would do in this scenario. I mean, you need all 3 to defend the wall. There'd be absolutely no reason to do any challenges this round. Especially since, okay, he got another guy out. So, yeah, you both started out really well. I hope you didn't blow it, Shamar.
No guarantees. No guarantees. So I believe that's it for his marshalling. He passed the turn back to me for challenges. And knowing that I'm not going to make any challenges, I still like to look at my hand and kind of feign that I have tons of great things to do with my 0 gold. But I do end up passing.
The funny thing is, if he played this deck before, you know that you're not doing any challenges.
I think this was the second game that we played. The previous game he had played his Stark deck, so he does know the strategies of the deck. But I think it was still kind of new to him, as it was when I played you. The first game I kind of didn't realize what was going on. The second game I understood it a little bit, but still didn't get it when you were passing the turn to me all the time.
Yeah, I was passing. You're like, man, this guy's awful at this game. You have to challenge people. Come on.
So I oppose his military challenge and sack my Tumblestone Knight, which is the first promo that's going to be in the Game Night kits this year.
And losing that knight is big. Who cares, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. It just sucks giving up that Renown to Randall, who's now doing a power challenge after standing because of Marjorie. So he's got the big 2 after I chump block it with Sir Waymar. Or Chud block it. Depends where you're from. And then the Intrigue of 3, which is opposed with Maester Aemon. And that's why I didn't bother to save anybody, because I needed to keep the wall standing with the opposed Intrigue.
Oh, man. See, that would have been nice.
That hurt.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
But I get the 2 power at the end of challenges for the wall, 1 for dominance, and collect Sansa when she stands. So it's not so bad. I didn't do any challenges, and I still come out on top on power.
Yeah, and that's what this deck specializes in is, you don't really need to win many challenges. It's all about opposing, and that's the beauty of it. As long as you can oppose challenges, you're going to get power. The problems that this deck encounters is like stealth, getting around if you have one stealth icon, Tyrion just wrecks you because you can just go around that one intrigue icon.
Right.
Oh man, he's going for it.
So the Winds of Winter, 3 gold, 2 claim, and I think it's 4 initiative.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Versus Calling the Banner, so I get an immediate 5 gold for the 5 characters that he has out.
Which, he is flooding the board early.
And a meager contribution to steal. I love that card so much, man.
All that money.
Amiga contribution, sir.
And so that kind of limits what he can do this turn. I think.
Well, he's already
was
down
pretty
to
set on that.
2 gold? Or, I guess
Yeah.
3 with Paxter. So,
3 with Paxter, you're right.
So he's not getting like a Knight of Flowers out or anything. It's too severe. You just gotta, and you still have all 3 icons. He has no stealth, so man, that's
I should have done it last round.
Milk on Sansa.
That's the funny thing about this deck is it makes you milk people that you wouldn't really think about milking in most other games. I mean, Sansa is really the best target, or maybe Benjen. I guess Benjen is a better target for a Milk of the Poppy, but with all the no attachments and no attachments except weapon in this deck, there's really not many targets that they can choose for Milk of the Poppy, which is nice because everyone runs 3 of them.
Yep, and I definitely like when I play this match against people who are obviously unfamiliar with playing against Night's Watch because of how unpopular it is currently. And they have a Milk of the Poppy in hand, they throw it on Eamon, and I say, no attachments. They're like, oh, my bad. Throw it on Waymar, no attachments. Throw it on the Ranging Party. And then they look at the board and realize that there really aren't that many guys that can take a Milk of the Poppy out of Night's Watch.
Well, if someone's milking your Ranging Party, you can just be like, do you wanna play again because you lost because you don't know how to play this game.
That is very true. That is very true. I didn't think about that one. I said it. But you know what I meant. You guys get the point.
I know what you meant. Yes, I know what you meant.
And so there's Benjen Stark there, and another Tumblestone Knight. The quality on that guy.
The Tumblestone Knight is
much use.
repeatable. He's cheap. He's very easy to get out. He's great for setups. I mean, that's another great thing about the deck is it's got a relatively low cost curve. So, Arya is obviously not great to take out on setup, but she's an option. You got Sansa, you got Aemon, Waymar, all 3 gold. Then you have Tumblestone Knights at 2. It's just got a lot of really good, reliable, low-cost characters.
That's right. I found when I was playing against high intrigue decks that were just eating away at my hand, I wasn't too worried because I knew chances were that in draw phase, 1, I would draw into 1 or 2 characters because there are so many in the deck, and 2, I'm almost guaranteed to be able to afford both of them if I were to draw 2.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed so far because you haven't made any play mistakes that I can criticize.
I think at this point I was pretty comfortable. I mean, like I said, you had beat me with it numerous times. And so even though I wasn't the one that was piloting it at the time, I still picked up on what you were doing and the types of decisions that you were making for the most part.
Yeah. And, obviously we talked about the strategy behind it as well, so even then you probably just had a good idea of how it was run just by watching it and, me pointing out some of the... I mean, there's not too many subtleties about it, but there's a couple. And
So if I'm not mistaken here, this is a military challenge with Randall Tarley, who also has... I always forget the name. Is this Heartbane? Heartsbane?
Heartsbane, I guess, yeah.
Right.
So, he's standing twice this round.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, you aren't going to attack anyway.
That is very true. So I'm just deciding here if I want to block and win.
A military challenge? I mean, you don't need to. You got Aemon. I mean, but Renown, I suppose you want to slow down his Renown, but I don't know. I mean, if you got it, but he's an 8, and you'd have to really commit to that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be an 8, or I mean, he could be an 11 if you use Marjorie at the same time. But so there he goes. He's
so
at
there
8
it goes
now.
right there. And uses Marjorie as well, all in one go.
So he's probably got a +5 something in his hand.
11?
Not put to the sword because he didn't have the... Oh no, he might have a put to the sword because of Paxter's ability, reducing
That's right.
the first event that you play. And
there it is.
Oh man. Oh, you better choose Sansa you better choose Sansa because otherwise that's a stupid move.
I think he's choosing because if he chooses Aemon, Aemon will kneel to save
Yeah,
himself.
if he chooses Aemon, Aemon's just gonna like, oh yeah, I'll die, but then I'll not die because I'm Aemon. Why did you waste your time? Yeah, and he went with Sansa. That's the obvious choice. It's really the only choice for him. And Sansa's great, but she's you got the wall out already. So it's like she's great to keep you in the game until you get the wall when you don't have the wall. But when you have the wall out, I mean, and you have the opposition.
I always just like having her out to give my opponent something to have to continuously be thinking about. But I wasn't too upset that she died there. He had already had to waste the gold milking her, and then now waste his event killing her, which I'm sure he would have been happier to use that on somebody else. So I think I came out on top there.
Yeah. Now he has 2 claims, so you're choosing what to do. I don't know why Aemon's knelt right now. He definitely should not be.
I used Aemon to save 1 already. Was why. And then the second claim was Benjen.
Then you gain the 2 power from Benjen. And now an intrigue can come through. I would have kept Aemon standing and taken Tumblestone Knight as claim. Because you're already at 6. You're not going to get the wall this round. So you could have been at 8. You're going to be stuck at 7 after this round now.
Yeah, I can totally see why you would have gone for that. I'm not sure what my thinking was there, especially giving up someone with as much strength as Benjen has. That I feel like that was a misplay.
Oh well, I mean, I would have stuck with. I would have taken Benjen and the Tumblestone Knight and kept Aemon standing, just because Benjen, you want him to. He's in the deck to die, so
that's right.
You'll probably draw him in a couple of rounds anyway.
And I was going to lose the 2 cards in my hand regardless, so
yeah,
it would have been better just to get the power from the wall.
Yeah, now the good news here is he's not going to stand Randall. So you can just oppose this and then crack back with a power to gain back some of that power that he's taken from you. Let's see, he was at 8. You had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you had exactly 8. So you weren't going to win that. So yeah, the opposing with the Tumblestone is fine. Mm-hmm. But now you can get two attacks through. So
this is a power challenge with Arya, stealthing his little caretaker.
Yeah. And then you can just do a military. He can oppose it, but he's not going to win it. And then you still win dominance.
Mm-hmm. And so that's pretty much the strategy, if I'm correct, is that if your opponent does go first and they do whatever they can to get the wall down, at that point you're able to slide through some challenges and try to chip away at their board a little bit and get some power back.
Yeah, well, if the wall does go down, or and the key to the game is, and the key to this deck anyway, is to look at their side, and really determine, am I going to be able to oppose all 3? And if you are, obviously you oppose them, and then whatever you have left standing, you can use that in retaliation. But if you're going first, you do the same thing. You kind of look at it and say, okay, are they gonna do this? Are they gonna get one of the 3 unopposed? And if you determine they're definitely getting one of the unopposed, then you can just play it like a typical offensive deck. I mean, they have good characters. I mean, the ranging party was taken out of your hand, but they're a 5 force or 5 strength for 4 gold. With the wall out, they're 6, so they have good numbers. And then Arya has stealth to get around Randall if you really want to get something through. So if you look at the board and determine, oh man, I'm actually not gonna oppose everything this round, you can realistically just say, I'm not gonna even try to oppose it. You can do whatever you want, and then I'm gonna come back and really take advantage of the fact that all your guys are now. And then with the Iron Throne, you're like, oh, I can kneel out my entire army and still win dominance most of the time. So
yeah, the Iron Throne definitely makes it a lot more comforting to kneel out your entire board.
Getting a setup is just fancy.
It's beautiful. And I think there's only 1 in the deck. Am I one, or do I play 1 or 2? I can't even remember at this point.
Well, I run 2. I don't know if you stripped it down to 1, which I would not advise.
I believe I'm at 2 as well, actually.
I would say bad.
So we missed the plots. Rob plays Filthy Accusations to Neil, Maester Aemon, and basically rob me of a save this turn. and I played Confiscation to get rid of Heartsbane, which was on Randall Tarley.
So it would be a bummer if you did not have an intrigue icon in your hand.
And I can't remember if I do, but here's Bran Stark. No more put to the sword
Yeah, stupid.
for now. Yeah, no intrigue icon.
No intrigue. Okay, so the wall. So here's a case where the wall is going down. You know the wall is going down, so you don't really have to hold your armies back. You know, you can play it how you would typically play a game.
Mm-hmm.
What's he? Oh, I'm sorry. He already went. Okay, so.
Yeah, he marshaled already.
Oh, you had Sansa, and she was dead.
No reaction.
That's
Yeah.
too bad.
It's always the worst.
I know.
Intimidate.
I'm looking forward to when they print a plot that says, you know, move a character from your dead pile to your discard pile, or something like that, or reshuffle a card from your dead pile into your deck, or something like that, just so you can. Dead draws are the worst feeling in this game, especially when it's
I
something
think
like Sansa.
actually no. Is reinforcements is only discard pile? If I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I think it's only
okay.
discard pile. So they have. I don't
to
think
play.
they've printed anything for dead pile to discard pile.
Other than Targaryen.
Yeah, but we don't talk about Targaryen here.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
They are persona non grata.
And so, challenges go to me. No, sorry, I'm blocking right now.
So Randall is being irritating, like he tends to. And this is, I'll take this opportunity to point out one of the few weaknesses of this deck, the Night's Watch deck, not his deck. I don't care about his deck, but the weaknesses of the Night's Watch deck are definitely, if you got a guy and he's got Renown, you're not really gonna get that guy off the board. I mean, unless they just get completely decimated by something unexpected, you know. If they, I don't know, wildfire, and then you march to the wall, and they only had 3 good characters, they might lose a Renown character, but 99% of the time, Renown is 100% safe against this iteration of Night's Watch.
That's right.
So it's really tough when you see a Renown guy early on, especially one that can stand over and over again. Because, you know, it's turn, turn 4 maybe? He's already got 4 Renown on him for a total of 7. If he didn't have that Renown, he'd be sitting at 3 power tier 7. So,
And there's another one.
he won again.
That's 5 right there.
That's a shame. So, yeah, he's at 8 now. If that Renown weren't there, he'd be at 3. So, it's really tough, and that's one of the main weaknesses. I have not lost to that yet because my deck always outpaces Renown, because Renown is like 1 or 2 a turn. I'm getting Dominance and the Wall and Santa, so I'm outpacing Renown 99% of the time. But it's stressful, and I think that you're feeling the stress right now.
Yeah, pretty much praying for a milk of the poppy, or anything that can kind of slow it down. And it kind of sucks because I can't find any of the Ravens to get some draw going.
Oh, you definitely need to filthy accusations Randall right now. That's for sure.
That would be a beautiful thing. Did past me do it?
Tune in next time to find out.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I wasn't sure if you got that reference. I didn't want to say Dragon Ball Z because I was like, eh. But yeah, you watched it.
The best show
good job.
ever. There it
Oh,
is.
and he did it.
Game of Thrones versus Filthy Accusations.
Oh, and he chose Marjorie. Oh god.
I chose that because of the Game of Thrones. That's why.
Okay, I didn't see the Game of Thrones. So, all
I'm
right.
praying to draw into some intrigue here
Fair
so I
enough
can
play.
win and not have to worry about future challenges.
I mean, I guess it's about the same because if you knelt Randall, he could just use Marjorie's ability to stand him before even attacking. So, I mean, it's a 1 for 1. Probably doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, either way, he's got the 3 intrigue coming at me, trying to win that challenge. So,
Yeah. So let's see. You got 3 intrigue with Master Aemon because of the wall.
and now he's at 5, and plus, I think that's plus 3 because we've on plot 4, or is this plot 3?
I think it's plus 3. So as it
it's the
stands
House Day
right now,
Knight.
you have 9 to his 8. You could definitely oppose the intrigue, which is nice. But you would not win it currently, so let's see what you got in your hand.
Here's a big 5 gold.
Alright, pay 2 for that.
Long claw.
Not bad. I'll never complain about Renown.
Unless it's on the other side of the board. And I have no other intrigue
man.
characters, unfortunately.
Probably another Sansa.
And so, before we started this recording, you asked me why it took me so long to win, and there's the reason why.
You let Sansa die. It's rookie.
Unfortunate. So here's the intrigue challenge with the House Day Knight and Dawn.
Yeah, you just oppose it. It's fine.
I didn't want to do any challenges anyway.
Yeah, I didn't want to do challenges anyway. I bet those grapes were sour.
There goes my Hands of Judgment.
Yeah, and that is one thing I will say. Intimidate, right. Intimidate's annoying.
It sucks.
One thing I will say is Hand's Judgment. I've watched a couple of your games, the one that you posted, and I've played the deck myself, obviously. Hand's Judgment gets intrigued out a lot.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
If it continues, I think that we might want to talk about removing that and adding something that you can actually play, because obviously it's a great card. It's a reaction, and when they have like Dracarys, it's a real dagger to cancel their Dracarys, and they're just like, I was basing my entire challenge of the faces off of that guy actually dying, and he's not dead now, so I guess I lose.
But I mean, my thing with that is, I don't know if maybe the difference in piloting, but I find, aside from this game, there weren't really too many turns where I was carrying gold into the challenges phase. This game, obviously, because he had intrigued out my entire hand, and so I didn't really have too many options in terms of what to play. But most games, I do have a greater board presence in terms of what's in play, and so I don't really hold back any extra gold.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, the way it operates, you really don't mind. Like, you don't really need to flood the board. I mean, if you have Aemon, and then you have one more icon for each of the 3, you can sit on gold if you need to. Because if you're really worried, like say let's just go back to Targaryen because I hate Targaryen, but let's just say you're playing a Targaryen deck, and they have, your only intrigue icon is Maester Aemon, and they attack with Dany with intrigue, and you defend. Well, that's putting, like, when you have to defend with Aemon, you are putting Aemon in jeopardy, because he could be Dracarys. When he's knelt, if you're kneeling, if they could do a military challenge, they can put him to the sword once he's actually knelt. So it's tricky when you're kneeling Maester Aemon to put him into a challenge. So having an extra gold, just to make sure, having an extra 2 gold for put to the sword, if a Hand's Judgment is in your hand, just to be sure that you don't lose Aemon that turn, because losing Aemon is just awful for this deck. You really want him, and for that reason, that's why we've talked about adding here to serve to the deck, just because it's so key getting him out. And he protects your board state. He makes it so you basically only have to have 4 characters on the board. So right now, you have 4 characters. He's wildfiring. I mean, there's no real reason to. He's not going to really benefit from wildfiring you. In fact, he's going to lose something more important than you are. He's either going to lose the Dane Knight with an attachment, which he's essentially a 5 or 6 strength guy. He might lose Randall or Marjorie, which obviously he never would, or he'd lose his gold. I mean, that he just threw away a lot of economy for seemingly no reason. I mean, you lost
only one bonus.
Yeah, you lost a Tumblestone Knight. He lost basically 2 gold a turn. So,
Right, because of the -1.
you know, you having Meister Aimon out there is a really great way of, you know, you don't have to spam the board, so Wildfire doesn't really bite you that hard, while also protecting your board state and protecting the wall, which is the most important part.
Mm-hmm. And so I think we missed last turn. Sorry, at the end of last turn, he tried to play Growing Stronger to push through and win a power challenge. I got rid of Rand to cancel that and ended up winning the challenge with Waymar Royce to get the Renown. Kept the wall standing, so +2 power, and then 1 dominance. So that put me up to 13 pretty easily.
Yeah. So, sorry, I talk too much. That's the problem. It's a problem.
Oh, no worries, man. It's perfect. I like where you're going with it. I like that you're giving so much information about the deck for people that might be struggling with certain decisions when they're playing and not really knowing what it is to do.
Yeah. If anyone goes, like I said, if anyone goes to the cardgamedatabase.com, they asked me to do reviews for Taking the Black, you know, like a text review for each of the cards and rating it and just giving my thoughts on it. And it was 8 of us, and my comments, my section on each card was by far the longest in every single one. I just love talking about the game. I ramble, so I apologize in advance. I'll try to keep it down so that we can actually watch the game.
No worries, man. You're good. This is awesome. So I played my little weenie. I always forget his name too. Those guys to me are faceless. They're all faceless men,
but
who are just in there to reduce and die.
I will say that he is incredible. I love the Steward at the Wall. I mean,
because of the intrigue icon, right?
Oh God, it is so good. That intrigue icon. I mean, it is invaluable in this deck. You know, we were talking when we played this day, when we played back whenever that was, and you said, like, you know, you couldn't predict my claims because I would keep a Steward. I would keep the Steward at the Wall on the board and like kill a Tumblestone Knight or kill something else. It's because you know you want the icons, and intrigue is probably the worst icon right now. It might get a little better with Will coming out in the chapter pack, but right now it's definitely the weakest. So when you get an intrigue icon, especially one where you have it now, so now you don't need to kneel Aemon to defend, so it's even better.
That's right.
So
that is right.
You know, just speaking theoretically here, if someone were to die, I think I'd prefer it to be Arya instead of the Steward of the Wall, just because having that additional, like, if for some reason he had to put to the sword or some way of killing someone past Maester Aemon defending, I think I would prefer Arya over the Steward at the Wall, just because that intrigue icon is so valuable.
I agree, and because of the +1 bonus that all the Night's Watch are getting, so you might as well get rid of the start character.
Exactly.
And keep the Brotherhood strong.
Yeah, because I mean, I mean, you have Castle Black in this deck, and you haven't seen it yet, but when that comes out, the start cards just become a minor priority. I mean, obviously Sansa's still great and everything, but like I said, when you have the wall, you don't really need Sansa anymore. I mean, look at the board state. It's 13-8, and you haven't had Sansa since like turn 1. He killed her on like turn 2. So
yeah, very early.
She's a good card, very solid. She keeps you in the game when you don't have the wall, but if she dies, it's not a huge deal as long as you can keep defending the wall. So in that regard, it's great to have all the icons out there and just okay, I lost my train of thought, but you know what I'm saying. It's just you want to defend every challenge.
Definitely. And so I played Combo Westeros and called Power just to keep myself in range of taking the game this turn.
Yeah.
And so that's why he was contemplating what to do there. I also was able to play, finally, a Milk of the Poppy on Randall Tarley. So that changed the game a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I have a hard time believing you don't win this round. It would be pretty incredible if you found a way to screw this round up, but I think that you won, just based on what I'm seeing. Obviously, he could keep all his guys standing, and then he might win dominance. I'd have to add it up, but I don't even think. No, he wouldn't even win dominance. So you have the ability to oppose all 3 challenges, right? Mm-hmm. You have the wall, and you have dominance, and you can even use Waymar to defend something if you needed the Renown, but you don't even need it because you have 13, right? Yeah, you have 13. So as long as you get the wall, you win. And it looks like you're getting the wall because he's. I mean, if he played Alun as informant like during the challenges phase, that would be a problem. But he just marshaled her. I think last turn.
Yeah,
so.
He didn't have the gold to play her in ambush.
Yeah, he had to use his 2 reducers to get it out. That's right. So, it's definitely when they only have 3 challenges, it's if you have those 3 characters, it's like put that 2 power in the bank because you got it.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now he's kind of like, he's going through the 5 stages, and I think he's in denial right now.
Going back to when we played again, I know I've been going to the well a couple times here, but I was in that exact same situation where I was looking at my board and I was looking at yours, and I was just like, there is absolutely nothing I can do.
Yeah.
But let me just double check, triple check, quadruple check.
Well, I remember multiple times when we were playing, you said under your breath like, "Oh my god, like unbelievable." You couldn't believe how ridiculous the deck was, and I don't blame you. I mean, I can't believe how ridiculous it is either. But let's see, you defended with 5. Why did you do that? Just so he doesn't mander? Oh, he mandered anyway. So
yeah, I'm not sure why I did, to be honest.
You're like, I won. Who cares?
Yeah, I feel like either way you couldn't push anything through unless you had stealth.
Well, I guess you did it just because of intimidate.
He did end up intimidating anyway?
Yeah. Let's see here. So he had 2 from the house day and night, and then I think like 5 from the dawn. So he's a 7. I think Elena's informant's a 3, maybe a 2.
2?
A 2. So he's got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he had 12 there. So yeah, he got the kneeler. So maybe. Oh no, you're still gonna win dominance. So you still won the game anyway.
Yeah, and that's what we're discussing there. Is that pretty much either way, I would have been fine, regardless of who I knelt for the intrigue challenge. And because of Calm over Westeros, it makes it all the more difficult for him to take any power from me.
Yeah. I mean, he could do a military challenge and kneel the wall, but at that point, he's kind of just delaying the inevitable, really.
Yeah, he does military, kneels the wall. I still have Arya for my challenges.
Yeah, and then you can do a power challenge, just come right through. So you'd be
down.
at 13. You take 1 with her, and then unopposed would get you to 15. So, I mean, this is the point where I'd call the judge over, like, stalling. He's stalling.
But it was just friendly. So there was no judge to call. And me and Rob were good friends, so I didn't mind going over it with him. Because we usually do that, where we sit there and figure it out. Is there anything that he could have done differently? Blah, blah, blah. To even stall the game out for 1 more turn and try something else.
Oh, definitely.
But he does end up conceding there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was an interesting match. I mean, we saw what could happen when they get an early character with Renown out. It makes it difficult, but it's still not impossible, obviously,
especially
to take the game.
Especially once you get your board set up a little bit better, and you can actually stop him, because, I mean, he is only a 5, and he has to commit Marjorie to make him an 8 and stand him. Or if he had Heartsbane, he has to commit that as well. So it's definitely... It's annoying when you have a standing Renown character against you, but like I said, the wall outpaces Renown. What are you even supposed to do? So
yeah,
especially when you have Iron Throne, and Arya can stealth past whatever guy they leave standing up to try and defend a power challenge. So you basically, I mean, it's. You kind of got the ideal, like what we just watched was like how you dream this deck runs. I mean, if you could write a script for how the deck should run, it would be this game. Just because you saw everything you need to see, right? You saw Arya, Sansa, Iron Throne, Wall, Aemon.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Benjen. I mean, you saw every card that could ever. You saw Milk. I mean, you're seeing everything that you want to see, and the great news about the deck is that's not even really that uncommon to see all the cards you need to see. Because, like I said, you only need 2 or 3 to win with it. So as long as you see in the wall, you need Sansa or Arya or the Iron Throne or Benjen. I mean, it's a really flexible deck as long as you can get the wall out. So I've won games.
And I definitely noticed that during the day. Sorry to cut you off. I noticed that during the day when I think I played 6 games, took all of them, and every game drew different combinations of the set needed. And I mean, by the end of it, you tend to always draw into that last missing piece when you truly need it. Especially when you do see the Ravens, it just comes all the more quickly, and it's very, very, very difficult to stop unless you're playing against a Greyjoy character who is able to get rid of locations.
Yeah, and Greyjoy is a trouble spot, but not so bad because, like I said, you have Arya, right? You have Benjen, who says you can't stealth my Rangers. So if you can get Benjen out, if you can get Arya out, you can still oppose. And Greyjoy doesn't really have any stealth intrigue. I mean, if they put a little bird on Arya or something, that's fine. But most of the time, you're not really seeing intrigue, stealth out of Greyjoy. So if you can just get 1 or 2 more bodies than they have stealthers, and how many stealth does Greyjoy have? I think like 3 or 4. So they're probably not seeing them all. So if you can get 3 power icons or 3 military icons, and then your typical 1 of each of the other, you're doing fine. And I've won plenty of times against Greyjoy. I mean, I'm not unblemished against them. I mean, they can take a win from you, but I'm something like 4-2 or 5-2 or something like that. So you win more times than you lose against Greyjoy.
Definitely still in your favor. And so, really quickly, because I know the match has already ended for a couple minutes now, but what cards are you looking forward to most from Taking the Black that you think are pretty much automatic includes into this type of deck?
So I think that Here to Serve is an automatic include, because I mean, your plot deck, it's hard to pick one to take out because the plot deck is pretty stacked right now, but Here to Serve is just so good to get Maester Aemon out, and you still get that 3 more gold to play a Waymar Royce or a Sansa or an Arya. So it doesn't even kill your curve to play a 3 gold plot, because you have so many 3 gold and even 2 gold if you have a Tumblestone or a Bran. So you have plenty of options under the curve of 3 to play, and you get Maester Aemon out. So I mean, in some cases it could be a good turn 1. If you have a relatively good setup, or if you had the wall set up, you can do Here to Serve and get out Maester Aemon and like Waymar, and then suddenly you have all 3 icons. Depending on what you set up, you could have 3 or 4 characters by that point. It's just a really good card. And since you're running Stark, I will say, and it's not because of how good he is, but just because you happen to have Stark in your deck. Maester Luwin is another, I'd say, a 1x, just because I mean, if you flop Maester Aemon, right, or if you get him in setup, or if you get him early on, or if you just didn't have time to play Here to Serve because you have better things to play and you draw Aemon, just grab yourself Luwin. I mean, he's not great, but it's just a free fetch. I mean, it's an intrigue icon. You play the plot, you get an intrigue icon, which we already said is the weak point in the deck. Relative weak point. I don't want to call it a weak point, but it's the weakest point of the deck is to get an intrigue icon. So it's just a free get an intrigue icon, worst case scenario. Other cards, Will, I'm looking forward to Will. I'm a little hesitant because he does have that forced reaction of discarding a ranger if something goes unopposed, and like you saw in this game, even when you have a good defense, sometimes they'll be able to sneak one through, and it would be a shame to have to discard someone on like an intrigue challenge that you just couldn't oppose for whatever reason. If they knelt Will, if they use Filthy Accusations to kneel Will, and that was your only intrigue icon, and they get an intrigue icon, oh well, now you gotta sacrifice a ranger. So I would never make him a 3x because he is the last card you want to see in setup. but I would do it. I would think about 2X. I would definitely do a 1X just because a military intrigue with stealth and insight is really good. But I'm excited for him. I was thinking about the Watch Has Need, but this deck is so stacked. I couldn't find a spot for it. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I tried, but I was like, what am I going to take out for this card? I mean, every single card in this deck is so good towards the goal. You know what I'm trying to do. So what am I supposed to even do with this card? So you could argue for a 1X of it. I don't know, maybe, possibly, perhaps, perchance.
My issue with that card is that I feel like there's already more than enough characters in the deck that you don't need to draw into a full hand of them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be a little bit of overkill because you're going to draw them regardless, and it's not like you can play all the ones that you draw when you play Here to Serve. Or sorry, not Here to Serve. The Watch Has Need.
I agree.
So I feel like it might be a little bit overboard. It's still a great card, and I'm sure it'll come in handy later on. But I feel like in terms of the meta currently after taking the black, I feel like it's one that could potentially be left out, at least until the next pack comes out and we see what other things are in store.
Yeah. I mean, if they make Reserve a theme, like, if they start printing cards where having good Reserve is a good thing, and you're building your deck with Iron Thrones and Samwell and whatever else adds Reserve over the course of the game, it might be worth it, because then you can look at 8 cards, 9 cards, 10 cards, and you could conceivably get like 3 or 4 characters out of that, and that'd be great. But right now, it's just the support isn't there for it. With the Reserve of I'm not looking at the cards right now, but the average Reserve on the plot deck right now is probably 5, maybe 6. So you're only looking at the top 5 cards. You have to name one type. So if you have a bunch of rangers out and you want stewards, well, there's only 2 stewards right now. Or if you want a builder, there's 1 builder right now. So you're basically only calling ranger, and sometimes you just don't need a ranger that much, especially if you have a bunch of them out already, or if they're dead already. So, like if Waymar is dead, you don't really care if you draw Waymar. So, I think in the future it could be good. Right now, I don't really feel a need to put it in the deck. Because like you said, there's like 36 or 37 characters in the deck right now. So.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Well, thank you, man, for jumping on this video with me. Hopefully, we can get you back on in the future to do some commentary on other matches.
I'd be happy to. If people care about my insight, I'll keep coming back.
That would be awesome. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out thronerunner.com for the deck building podcasts and videos. And also, there will be a link on the screen to go back to the deck building video of this Night's Watch deck should you feel like going back to see it. I'm fortunate enough to have bought the Taking the Black pack at Worlds 2 weeks ago. So I have already made a couple of updates, which I will try my best to publish to ThronesDB for those of you who are interested in seeing it. So again, thank you for watching, and take care.
Talk to you guys later. Well, I guess not, but take care. That works.